Well, you've been reporting this out for a long time, that Apple will be delivering AI chips of its own. The nuance here, we're learning exactly who's doing it.
Yeah, the interesting thing is this morning, Apple announced that iOS 18.2, which is the latest version of iOS 18 with a lot of the new Apple Intelligence features, is actually going to be available today. I would anticipate it's going to be available for download around 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. And Apple Intelligence is interesting because you have a lot of models that run on the device itself, right? Those capabilities can actually be processed on the phone, the iPad, the Mac independently. But in some cases, they need to go to the cloud, things like writing tools, things like summarizing text in some cases, summarizing articles. And for that, you need your own server infrastructure. And so for what Apple has done, is they've created tweaked versions of the M2 Ultra chip they shipped a couple of years ago and the M4 chip they've begun shipping this year to actually be cloud-based servers to do that AI processing. And so what this report today is saying is that there's a new generation version of that chip in development for launch about 2 years from now, which makes sense. They are continuing that rollout of different chips. They need specialized chips for training data, for inferring data, for pushing data. And what Broadcom is really good at is bringing that data in and out. Apple and Broadcom have been working together for a number of years. Broadcom makes the combined Wi-Fi and Bluetooth chip inside of the iPhone and some of the other Apple devices. Broadcom is continuing to work with Apple on what are known as radio frequency filters or RF filters, despite the shift away from Qualcomm modems. So
Yeah.
this is just a continuation of the Apple modem or the Apple Broadcom partnership, I should say, in new generations of AI servers. It shows Apple's commitment to artificial intelligence and doing as much as possible in-house.
It's also committed to ensuring that we can get connectivity wherever we might be. And you reported that out in terms of the Apple Watch, right? And how you're going to be using satellite going forward.
Yeah, this makes sense as well. Back in 2022 with the iPhone 14, Apple launched a feature called Emergency SOS over satellite. So what that allowed you to do is the first advertisement for that so eloquently showed is if you're, injured or trapped on a hike or in a remote area without cellular connectivity, you could tap into a satellite network operated by Globalstar, right? You can send a text message to emergency services or file a sort of a radar or an SOS to emergency services, and they'll come find you. They expanded that earlier this year with iOS 18 to allow text messages over satellite to any iMessage content. And so if you're a hiker, you need to sort of bring your iPhone with you. But they have this $800 Apple Watch Ultra geared towards hikers, and now they're going to update it about a year from now with its own satellite connectivity, meaning you can leave the phone behind and still have that peace of mind of being able to reach emergency services and sort of stay on the grid while you're off the grid out of cellular range.